Hello, it's a great pleasure for me to participate with you in this International Student Symposium 2022. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Leila Marx. I am an architect and urban planner, a federal public servant in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I am a doctoral student in local development at the Augusto Mota University, coming here to contribute to this symposium with a small lecture on creative solutions for the future of the cities. Let me share here my presentation. Da, da, da. Here it is. Okay, let's begin. Well, first of all, for this diverse audience like this, it should be necessary to define city before classifying them. In terms of legality, city can be defined as the portion of the municipality inserted in the urban area, but which may even contain a small rural area. For us, urban planners, cities are conceptualized as the true living organisms, complex systems characterized by a large number of interconnected citizens, companies, different means of transportation, communication, services, and utilities. Or even the most poetic form of Henri Lefebvre, city is a pure form, the meeting point, the meeting place, the simultaneity. Okay, then now we know what can be a city. Let's talk about this kind of uh, alive organism. Okay, since city is considered an organism, a living organism, it happens that, like any other living organisms, the dynamics of cities, among other reasons, is due to population growth and corresponding increase in the area of urbanization, not necessarily in the same proportion. This growth, when it's well planned, and that is precisely the role of the urban planner. Although sometimes, even with planning, it can go beyond the forecast, it can end up causing a variety of technical, social, economic, and organizational problems that tend to compromise the economic and environmental sustainability of cities. Let's talk further about the importance of the urban planning and the urban layout for the preservation and growth of cities. Well, what kind of problems could this uncontrolled growth can bring to the cities? The biggest of all, in the most visible and large metropolises like Rio de Janeiro, would be the housing deficit. We have problems such as lack of infrastructure, few green areas, creating heat islands in cities, pollution issues, excess garbage, crowding, lack of essential services. In short, these are some of these problems. Okay, this is Rio de Janeiro and its non-favela. Because of this context of problems, debates emerged and grew inside and outside the academic environment, in public and private agendas, on how new technology based solutions could ensure viability, quality of life, prosperity, and sustainability in urban areas. And within these studies, expressions were born that define certain more striking characteristics in certain cities, which end up classifying them as sustainable cities, smart cities, humanist or inclusive cities, and creative cities, which I want to talk a little about with you today. Creative cities is our subject today. Um, Okay, but first, before talking about creative cities, we have to study a little, to understand a little about creative economy. According to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, in the context of the growing appreciation of knowledge and an intangible product, the creative economy is involving concepts based on creative assets that potentially generate economic growth and development, embracing economic, cultural, and cultural aspects that interact with technology, intellectual property, and tourism objectives. This is an official definition. UNCTAD in 2010. The creative economy is one that provides development based on unique values with its offer of unique experience based on local culture and traditions, which produces a legacy of enjoyment of the region's heritage. The creative economy is full of small startups. In fact, it's praised in part because it's a source of starting energy. Thus, creative territories are socially produced spaces appropriated by cultural dynamics where the creative economy stands out in relation to other economic segments. When it's perceived that a significant territory of a city has its development driven by a creative economy, we can risk saying that we have a creative city. Thus, creative territories are socially produced spaces appropriated by cultural dynamics, where the creative economy stands out in relation to other economic segments. Oops. Corta e agora continua. And why I did say we can take a chance and not be sure it's a creative city, because it's not enough to the population, government, or productive sector to want to give this title to a city. There is a whole selection criteria created in 2004 by UNESCO with the Creative Cities Network, UCCN, to contribute to the policy of countries and regions. The creative fields recognized by UNESCO 2015 involve sectors that promote crafts, folklore, design, film, gastronomy, literature, multimedia, and music. These fields were defined based on debates held by UNESCO in several countries. In 2019, UCCN had 234 member cities from 72 countries spread across all continents, with each city being endorsed by only one creative city. Brazil, for example, has 12 representatives at the UCCN in six different creative fields. Here we are. Gastronomy, we have the city of Belém in the state of Pará, the city of Belo Horizonte in the state of Minas Gerais, the city of Florianópolis or Floripa in the state of Santa Catarina, and Paraty, the city of Paraty here in Rio de Janeiro, the only one city in Rio de Janeiro. We have 92 cities in Rio de Janeiro, but the only one considered creative is Paraty. In the field of films, we have the city of Santos in the state of São Paulo. Literature, I don't know why we don't have any city. We have to work more, work harder. Design, we have Curitiba, the state of Paraná, the city of Fortaleza, the state of Ceará, the city Brasília, the federal district. Media arts, we have Campina Grande, in Mato Grosso. Music, we have Salvador and Recife, Salvador in Bahia, Recife in Pernambuco. Crafts and folklore, we have João Pessoa, Paraíba, state of Paraíba. This is our cities. These are our creative cities. Sorry, my English. I'm continue try hard. Okay. Uh, the official definition of, oh, sorry, let me try. Okay. While you see this film of Paraty, I continue talking. The official definition made by United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, defines creative city as a system composed of people, organizations, infrastructure, and institutions from the public and private sector linked to a creative economy that represents a means of interest for researchers and government agents for suggesting a new phenomena capable of generating sustainable development. This is the official definition. Paraty is recognized as a creative city for creating a gastronomic observatory, establishing a clear image of the gastronomic field, mapping the entire production chain from farm to plate, strengthen the supply chain, specifically the fish market, to improve the living standards of fishing families by offering regularization, technical assistance, and professionalization. Creation of the creative economy and trading center, a multidisciplinary place for young people offering training, workshops, integrating designs, crafts, folk culture, arts, and gastronomy. That's very important, very beautiful city, a historical city in, in Rio de Janeiro. On the other hand, the city of Rio de Janeiro, so well known all the world, has already claimed to the title of creative city, but it did not succeed because it applied in the segment, in my view, wrong gastronomy. When in fact Rio is known internationally for its music, for example, the intellectual music of bossa nova, the marginal music of funk, the favela music, and the international samba. We should try again, like a creative seat in music. Okay. Um, and what would be the advantages of winning this title of creative cities? What is it for? First, to win, we need to be a creative city. And nothing better than having an economy that takes advantage of the tradition and culture of the local inhabitants to insert them in the economic context. When creative territories overlap with tourist destinations, their complexity increases and the possibilities for cooperation between tourism and culture increase exponentially. Creative cities are inclusive cities, first and foremost. Creative tourism, an important area of economy, has been indicated since in the 90s as a potential to react to mass consumption models and the excessive commodification of products, services, and tourists' products and experience. Co-creation, the basis of this creative tourism, seeks to guarantee the authenticity of the tourist experience. The cultural use of tourist experiences is expanded in creative tourism. Furthermore, belonging to the worldwide network of creative cities is a way to obtain cooperation from cities that consider creativity a strategic factor in sustainable urban development. It's an exchange and collaboration platform for the fulfillment of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations 2030 Agenda. Uh, opa, sorry, I don't know. Let me see here. Okay. Well, let's now return to that initial question about the urban planner like me. What would be your role in helping to build a creative city? The urbanist architect who works with urbanism must be attentive to promote welcoming spaces that encourage this new form of economy. Architect Jaime Lerner here in Brazil believes, he's already dead, that while not all cities are creative, all have potential to. He is the author of the book Urban Acupuncture. Lerner explains that in the same way as the medical surgical approach, it would be a touch on a key point in some area that has been neglected. It could be an intervention in the cultural identity or in the relationship with the natural environment or in economic activities, producing reactions in positive chains, improving the entire environment. Let me see here. Okay, these are a urban planner uh, rules to follow, to do. Facilitating the revitalization of the traditional economy. Here, Brazil is say, think out the box. This is slang. Establish direct community participation in diagnosis and planning. The name of this document is Participatory Development Plan for the Creative Economy. He or she has to produce creative solutions associated with new socio-economic and cultural contexts, inviting and welcoming spaces for public use. Creation of public space with a focus on facilitating the development of cultural and creative activities and circulation of the general public events, festivals, fairs, an unequivocal connection with tourism. Creative cities always have understanding and or making people understand that culture as an investment and not as an expenditure for the generation of certain environments of urban environments fundamental in the development of social creativity is a way of generating sustainable and inclusive income. As an example of the quality of investing in the creative economy, you have success stories in place of social inequality, such as this photo here in Recife. This is the photo of Porto Digital, Parque Tecnológico, Technological Park. It's a group of companies that in 2019 earned 2.3 billion of reais, our money. There are 330 companies and institutions with more than 10,000 people employed, with approximately 800 entrepreneurs formed by business incubators, business accelerators, research institutes, government representations, and a higher education institution, the Caesar School, which was twice considered the best institution of science and technology in the country. There, they also develop training projects for young people and professionals from companies located in the Porto Digital territory, providing tools to promote the social inclusion of the community and its surroundings. It's a very good example about creative economy. Okay, let's talk about our final considerations. Creative City must be seen as a multicultural infrastructure that falls into tangible and intangible concepts. The very concept of a creative city incorporates integrated dimensions such as support for the arts and the artists, as well as being synonymous with a solid creative class. Creative cities configure the territorial space that exceeds a geographic condition, being seen in an atmosphere in which creative and innovative activities develop and relate to urban agents. Creative cities, so, are a system composed of people, organizations, infrastructure, and institutions from the public and private sector, as I said before. The phenomena of creative cities, therefore, is linked to a creative economy that represents means of interest to researchers and government agents by suggesting a new phenomenon capable of generating sustainable development. This is very important. Um, The emergence of the creative class concept makes a central change in the terms of by focusing on the creative role of people in the creative age, no longer centered on corporatism, but on the human being. Creative series aim to channel this creative class as a way to attract companies and investments promoting development. Cities attract people due to several peculiar characteristics. However, creative cities attract attention by exhibiting a transversal and experimental way of living, a hedonic way of living. From the perspective of the creative economy, the world is permeated by images, sounds, symbols, and ideas that move the consumption of imagery and move new jobs, more wealth, and ask cities for a new logic, a creative atmosphere capable to enhancing, stimulating for creation. Creative cities leverage and converge creative industries with respect to the notorious creative class, revitalizing their structures and fostering economic and cultural development. Therefore, government agents pay attention to how to develop strategies to simulate the creative potential of cities, not only as an engine of economic development, but also as a promoter of social inclusion, development, and diversity. In this scenario, the concept of creative economy from the perspective of creative cities gains space for debate in the world as a link between culture, economy, and technology as and urban development. Urban creative is characterized by a territorial dimension located in polos, neighborhoods, or regions that present creative cultural potential capable to generate integral and sustainable development. It combines integrity and promotion of their cultural and social values in addition to the cultural identity characteristic of creativity. All other aspects arising from this urban creativity make up an intangible added value, but of great social recognition and which must know how to be measured in order to collaborate with local sustainability. Therefore, an identification of singularities and potential of these urban creativity shows an emerging point to work the basis for a creative cities. That's it. I'm very sorry for my not very good English, and thank you very much for your attention.